Find Me at the Station, written by Devontae Paul. The lights buzzed like a dying pulse, clawing at Minjae's thoughts as he stirred. His body slumped against a cold metal bench, its edge biting into his spine, tethering him to a place that felt unmoored. The air hung thick with rusted iron and a faint trace of cedarwood, a scent that twisted his gut like a memory he couldn't grasp. Sand crunched faintly under his shoes, scattered across the bench like it had spilled from another world. His eyelids fluttered, vision blurry, and he realized he wasn't alone. A figure sat beside him, their shoulder brushing his, warm against the station's chill. Minjae's head lifted, each movement dragging through air thick as syrup. The space around a train station sprawled vast and wrong, its edges swallowed by shadows that curled like an entity of smoke. Overhead lights flickered, casting jagged pools of yellow that didn't stray too close to the darkness. Tracks stretched into a void, their rails glinting faintly, whispering of journeys unknown. A clock loomed above, its hands frozen, mocking time itself. Minjae's stomach knotted, dread blooming before he could name it. This wasn't a station he knew, yet it felt like he'd been here forever, caught in the hum of a train that never arrived. "You're awake," a voice said, low and smooth, slicing through the buzz. Minjae froze. The words were simple, but the tone, warm, intimate, like a song he'd once hummed, hit like a wave. He turned, heart lurching, and met the man's eyes. The dim light carved his face, sharp cheekbones, a faint scar above his brow, a gaze that held Minjae like it knew every fracture in him. That face, he should have known it. The slope of the nose, the slight tilt of his lips, it tugged at something buried, something Minjae wanted to keep buried. But he didn't know this man. Did he? Who? His voice cracked, barely audible. His fingers gripped the bench, nails scraping metal to anchor himself against the static in his head. "Who are you?" The man's smile was small, fragile, like it might shatter if Minjae pushed. "You don't remember?" he asked, tilting his head. His voice was soft but heavy, like he was waiting for Minjae to catch up. Sand dusted his sleeve, catching the light, and Minjae's eyes lingered on it, unsettled. Minjae shook his head, the motion unsteady. I don't know where I am." The words tasted like ash, like a lie gone instinctive. "You're at the station," the man said, as if it explained everything. He leaned back, eyes drifting to the tracks, vanishing into the void. "It's where you've always been, waiting for a train that isn't yours to arrive." Minjae's frown deepened, unease coiling tighter as he stood. "What's that supposed to mean?" The man didn't answer. He stood also, movements fluid, like he'd walked this platform forever. He offered a hand, the gesture kind but heavy. "Come with me, there's something you need to see." Minjae stared at the hand, pulse racing, every instinct screamed to stay, to let the shadows swallow him. The distant rumble of a train vibrated faintly, a promise or a threat. But those eyes, steady, patient, with a flicker of hope, pulled him closer. He took the hand, its warmth jarring against the cold bench. His legs shook as he stepped, sand shifting under his soles, like it was trying to tell him something. The man didn't let go, leading him along the platform. The station warped, benches twisting into impossible shapes, shadows whispering just out of sight. The rumble grew, a train's ghost haunting the tracks. Minjae's throat tightened. "Where are we going?" "You'll see," the man said, gentle but firm, like he was bracing Minjae for a truth he wasn't ready for. They stopped at the platform's edge, the rails stretching into pulsing darkness. The rumble deepened, vibrating through Minjae's bones, a call to move or be left behind. He glanced at the man, searching his face. "Why am I here?" The man's gaze softened. "To decide." "Decide what?" Minjae's voice sharpened, frustration spilling out. The man sighed, a sound that carried too much. "I can't tell you, Minjae, but I can show you the train's coming. You'll have to choose soon." The station blurred, and Minjae's stomach dropped as the air shifted, sharp with disinfectant. The platform was gone, replaced by a hospital room. Cold, sterile, too bright. A bed sat in the corner, its occupant pale and still, hooked to machines beeping slow and steady. Sand dusted the floor, faint but there like it had followed him. Minjae's breath caught as he saw the face. He stepped forward, but the man's hand on his arm stopped him. "Don't," the man said, voice low. "You can't help him now." Minjae's chest heaved. "That's me. How am I here if I'm there?" The man's eyes didn't waver. "You overdosed," he said, words heavy as stones. "You've been stuck here since, waiting at a station that doesn't move." Minjae shook his head, backing away. "No, I don't remember." "You don't want to." The man cut in, sharp but not cruel. "But you have to. You're not boarding any train until you do." The room faded, and Minjae's head spun as the world shifted. Pavement crunched under his feet, cold air stinging his skin. They were on a street, his street. Streetlights cast long shadows, and Minjae's heart sank as he saw himself, younger, hunched outside a corner store, arguing into a phone. His voice was raw, breaking. Sand dusted the sidewalk, catching the light. "You don't get it, Haneul," the younger Minjae snapped. "I can't just drop everything. I've got my own shit to deal with." He hung up, shoving the phone in his pocket, shoulders tight with anger. Minjae's throat closed. "Why are we here?" "This is where it started," the man said, voice low, "where you could have changed the tracks." "I could have told him," Minjae whispered, eyes locked on his younger self. "I should have said I was scared, that I needed him." "You could have," the man said, soft but heavy, "but you didn't, and it derailed you both." The street dissolved, and Minjae's breath hitched as the air warmed. Carrying coffee and lavender, they were in a bedroom, small, cluttered, alive. A dog-eared novel sat on the nightstand, its pages marked with Haneul's doodles of stars and half-finished poems. A coffee mug rested on the desk, chipped from the time Haneul dropped it laughing too hard at Minjae's bad joke. Sand dusted the floor, faint but persistent, like it was part of the memory, and on the bed was Haneul. Minjae's knees buckled. Haneul was laughing, head tilted back, eyes bright with the joy that tore Minjae open. His dark hair fell messily over his forehead, and he was twirling a pencil between his fingers, a habit when he was lost in thought. His sweater was too big, slipping off one shoulder, revealing a constellation of freckles Minjae used to trace in the mornings. His smile was so alive it hurt, like sunlight breaking through a storm. Why are you doing this? Minjae's voice broke, turning to the man. Why him? Why now? This is where it fell apart, the man said, his voice raw. You and Haneul. You were each other's home, but you stepped off the train. Minjae's fists clenched. I can't see him like this. It's too much. You can, the man said, stepping closer. You've been running from the station too long. Say what you didn't say. In the memory, Haneul's laughter faded, his face softening as he leaned toward the younger Minjae. Hey, what's wrong? You've been off all night. His voice was gentle, but there was a crack in it, like he was bracing for rejection. The younger Minjae shrugged, jaw tight. Nothing, just tired. Haneul's eyes narrowed, pencil stilling in his hand. Don't do that, Minjae. Talk to me, please. I can't keep guessing what's in your head. Minjae stood, pulling away. I need air, he muttered, heading for the door. Haneul's voice followed, soft but desperate. You always need air. What about me? What about us? Minjae froze in the memory, but the door slammed shut. He watched, chest aching. I should have stayed, he said, voice barely there. I should have told him he was enough. Tell him now, the man said, soft but firm. He's dead, Minjae snapped, the word like a blade. What's the point? The train's gone. The man's gaze held steady. He's gone, but you're still at the station, holding his ticket. That's why you're stuck. Minjae's eyes burned, turning back to Haneul. The memory froze. Haneul's hand outstretched, his face soft with worry, pencil still tucked behind his ear. Minjae stepped closer, voice shaking. I'm sorry, he said, words spilling like blood. I should have stayed. I should have told you I loved you. You were the only thing that kept me whole, Haneul. You laughed, the way you'd hum off key when you thought I wasn't listening. The way you'd leave little notes in my pockets. I let you down. I let us down. His voice broke, and he sank to his knees, sobs tearing through him. Sand sifted through his fingers, cool and rough, as if the station had bled into the memory. The man knelt beside him, hand on his shoulder. He knew, he said, voice gentle, even if you didn't say it. He knew. His love for you was in every sketch, every note. Minjae laughed, bitter and raw. You talk like you knew him. The man's smile was faint, sad. Maybe I did once. Maybe I just know you more than you know yourself. Or perhaps some mistakes are universal. The bedroom faded, but the air didn't return to the station. Instead, Minjae stood in a park with late afternoon sun slanting through cherry blossoms. Petals drifted like snow, catching in Haneul's hair as he sat on a bench, sketching in a worn notebook. His fingers were smudged with charcoal, and he was humming, a soft off-key tune that made Minjae's chest ache. Sand dusted the bench, faint but there, like it was part of Haneul's world. This was earlier, before the fights, when love was easy. Why this? Minjae asked, voice thick, turning to the man. To remember him whole, the man said, not just the derailment. In memory, a younger Minjae approached, hands in his pockets, a shy grin on his face. What are you drawing now? Haneul glanced up, his smile bright, eyes crinkling like they held a secret. You, obviously. the only muse worth immortalizing in my eyes. He tilted the notebook, revealing a sketch of Minjae laughing, his features softened by Haneul's careful lines. Minjae sat beside him, nudging his shoulder. Liar! You only see me like this because you're in love with me. Haneul's laugh was warm, like sunlight. Maybe, but it's more than that. You've got this light in you, Minjae. Even when you don't see it, I do. He reached out, brushing a petal from Minjae's hair, his touch lingering. Minjae's throat tightened, watching. I forgot this, he whispered, how he made me feel like I was enough. The man's voice was soft. He saw you, all of you, even the parts you hid. He carried you in every line he drew. The park dissolved, and Minjae's chest ached as the station returned, its shadows sharper, the rumble louder. Sand crunched underfoot, a reminder of time slipping away. The train's headlights pierced the dark, its brakes screeching. Minjae's eyes were red but clearer. What happens if I get on that train? You leave, the man said, voice steady. For good, the station stays empty. And if I stay? You wake up, you keep moving even without him. The train's doors hissed open, sand swirling in the air. Minjae's pulse raced, the choice heavy as the tracks beneath him. Leaving would end it. The guilt, the pain, Haneul's ghost. Staying meant boarding a different train, one that carried his scars. Why him? Minjae asked, voice breaking. Why not me? The man's calm cracked, grief flickering in his eyes. If it was you, he'd be here asking the same thing. You promised each other you'd find your way back no matter what. Death doesn't derail that. The platform stretched endless, the train waiting. Minjae's hands shook, eyes on the man. Where are you going? The man's gaze softened. I don't know. It mattered before. Now, it's just you. The words hit hard, and Minjae staggered, fingers brushing the platform's edge. Sand sifted through his touch, cool and rough, like Haneul's sketches crumbling to dust. As the last grain fell, the station shattered. The hospital room was too bright, fluorescent light searing Minjae's eyes. His body felt heavy, tethered by tubes and exhaustion. The heart monitor beeped steady, a lifeline he didn't know he wanted. Sand dusted the windowsill, faint, but there, like it had followed him from the station. His throat was dry, head throbbing with echoes, Haneul's off-key hum, the man's voice, the train's rumble. It clung to him, raw and real, like a dream carved into his bones. The air carried a faint trace of cedarwood, so subtle he thought he'd imagined it, but it twisted his chest all the same. You're awake, a voice said, calm, warm, cutting through the sterile hum. Minjae turned, breath catching as he saw the man beside him. Not the man from the station, not quite. The white coat, the name tag, the quiet professionalism softened his sharp familiarity. But those eyes, dark, steady, searching, were the same, pinning Minjae like they could see through him. Good to have you back, Mr. Minjae, the man said, a small smile breaking through, though it faltered slightly, like he sensed Minjae's unease. I'm Dr. Haneul Ann. You gave us a hell of a scare. Minjae's heart stopped, the name crashing over him like a tsunami. The monitor's beeping spiked, a frantic rhythm betraying his panic. He stared, speechless, as the room seemed to tilt, the walls pressing in. Haneul. The name burned in his chest, dragging up every memory. The sketches, the freckles, the off-key hum. His hands gripped the sheets, knuckles white as his mind spiraled. Was this real? Could it be? The station's weight clung to him, Haneul's promise echoing, to find each other always. But this man, this doctor, wasn't his Haneul, or was he? The cedarwood scent lingered, faint but undeniable, and Minjae's breath hitched, caught between the station's dream and the hospital's undeniable reality. Dr. Ann's smile faded, his brow furrowing as he leaned forward, voice low and careful. "Hey, you okay? Your heart rate's climbing. Take a deep breath for me, all right?" Minjae's lips parted, but no sound came. His gaze locked on Dr. Ann's face, searching for something, anything to anchor him. The scar above the brow was gone. The jawline softer, but those eyes. They were Haneul's, weren't they? Or was he seeing what he wanted to see, what the station had burned into him? "You." His voice was hoarse, trembling, barely audible. "Your name? Haneul?" Dr. Ann nodded, his expression steady but curious, like he was used to patients' confusion but sensed something deeper here. "Yeah, Haneul Ann. You're in good hands, I promise. Can you tell me what's going on or experiencing any discomfort or pain?" Minjae's chest tightened, the voice slicing through him. He wanted to laugh, to cry, to scream. He swallowed hard, the monitors beeping, a chaotic pulse in his ears. "I knew someone. His name was Haneul. He's gone." The words felt like glass, cutting as they left him. Dr. Ann's eyes softened, a flicker of something, empathy maybe, or recognition, crossing his face. "I'm sorry," he said quietly, his voice carrying a weight that felt too familiar. "Losing someone. It stays with you, but you're here now, Minjae. You're still here." He paused, glancing at the monitor, then back at Minjae. "I'm glad there's no discomfort or pain. You want to talk about him? Sometimes it helps." Minjae shook his head, his throat too tight to speak. The station flashed in his mind. The train, the sand, Haneul's outstretched hand. Was it a dream, a warning, or something else, something tying him to this man who wore Haneul's name like a second skin? "I don't know what's real," he whispered, almost to himself, his voice breaking. You sound like him. You look like him. But you can't be." Dr. Ann's expression shifted, a mix of concern and something unreadable. He leaned closer, his voice low, grounding. "I'm real, Minjae. I'm right here. Whatever you saw, whatever you're feeling is a lot to process. You've been through hell, but we'll figure it out, step by step." "Okay?" Minjae's gaze dropped to his hand, still clutching the sheets. Sand clung to his fingertips, faint but there, like it had followed him from the platform. He stared at it, heart pounding as Haneul's promise burned in his mind. "We'll find each other no matter what." He looked up, meeting Dr. Ann's eyes again, and for a moment, the world stilled. The cedarwood scent was stronger now, or maybe he was imagining it, but it felt like Haneul's presence, lingering in the cracks of this sterile room. I don't know how to do this," Minjae said, his voice raw, barely above a whisper. "I don't know how to keep going without him." Dr. An's smile returned, small but warm, like a light breaking through fog. You don't have to know yet, he said. Just take the next breath, then the next. That's enough for now. He reached out, resting a hand lightly on Minjae's arm. The touch, steady and grounding, was achingly familiar. You're not alone in this, Minjae. I'm here. Minjae's breath hitched, tears stinging his eyes as he nodded, unable to speak. The promise echoed, Haneul's voice blending with Dr. An's in his mind, and something broke open inside him. Not peace, not yet, but a crack, letting in the faintest light of hope, of a second chance, like the right train pulling into the station at last.